in college. Our final speaker today is going to be finally someone under 30 that's going to tell us really what's going on with the internet and the web today. And I'm pleased to introduce Anthony Hoffman, who's a graduate student with us in the School of Information Studies, who does work dealing with privacy, social norms, and social networking. And he's going to present to us a riff on the new 5 Ws. So, Anthony.
Thank you, Michael. Now, as you mentioned, I am under 30, and my talk is particularly tailored to people, my peer group. We're talking about people in their young graduate students, the young undergraduates here at University of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So if you're not in my demographic, I apologize. I think you'll be able to take something away from this, but I'm specifically trying to address the students here at University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Now, no matter what age you are, you've probably picked up on the fact that we're in the middle of a presidential election cycle right now. I don't know if you've noticed any of the information, the little news, and some stuff out there. You might have also heard that just last week, one of the major party's vice presidential candidates had her personal email account hacked. It seems no one ever told her what a strong password looked like. Just so you all know, it's a combination of letters and numbers and at least one non-alphanumeric character, like the @ maybe an ampersand, an asterisk will do as well. Anyway, the original hacker grabbed a few screenshots of some mostly innocuous emails, including some family picture attachments and the account's contact list. These screenshots were then uploaded online, and as the Star Wars kid will tell you, there's no turning back. The information was spread, being copied, cut, pasted, stored, backlogged, blogged, reblogged, tumblred, retumbled, emailed, printed. You get the idea. Some talking head pundits immediately condemned the hacker's actions and bemoaned this woman's loss of privacy. I wasn't so quick to condemn. Legislative actions over the past decade, such as the passing and reauthorization of the Patriot Act or the slow dismantling of the Freedom of Information Act, have told me as a citizen that my privacy is at best a rare privilege. As a result, I'm left cynical and just a little frightened. So I appreciated the hacker's efforts, if only for a moment. It was nice to see a government official afraid of a citizen as opposed to the opposite. However, this appreciation quickly faded as I looked at what the hacker had documented. Here's an elected official suspected of conducting state business over her private email, a forum not held accountable to her constituency, and what did the hacker grab before the account was shut down? Essentially nothing. In fact, it looks like he didn't even really know what he was going after in the first place. And I and other online writers and commenters found ourselves wondering, WTF, man? WTF? At the same time as this newly dubbed Emailgate was going on, I was thinking about this event one web day, and what I would say when it was my turn to speak. I was charged with thinking about the lives of young people like myself online. And as I pondered our relationship to blogs, social networks, and the internet as a whole, I found myself constantly asking the same question we'd all been asking of the hacker. WTF, man? Now, some of you are probably wondering just what WTF means. How many of you out here know what WTF means? Yeah? Most of you? All right. Well, I need you to pardon my language for one moment, but it's internet shorthand for the phrase, what the fuck? All right? It's most often used to denote bewilderment or anger or maybe just general confusion. But as I was thinking about my life online and the lives of people my age or younger, I found just one WTF to be lacking. One WTF didn't quite seem to encompass all the questions I had. So I decided the famous 5 Ws, who, what, where, when, and why, stand to be reinvented for the digital age. I've decided on the 5 WTFs. Now I have a microphone, and to keep myself from sounding like a bit part in a Tarantino film, I'm going to politely skip over the F word from here on out. But you all feel free to fill in the blanks yourself. So these 5 WFs would be who the, what the, where the, when the, and why the. And I'd like to take a couple minutes to address these. Who? Who are we when we're online? Especially during this election cycle, I've heard the news media trumpeting the digital generation, as we heard Dr. Britt's trumpet as well earlier. But who is that? Are we really just one cohesive group of individuals born after 1980 who somehow, while still in the womb, learned what a mouse was? Or what the internet is, or what a blog is? No, much to the chagrin of advertising executives, we're not some easily quantifiable online unit. In fact, our lives online increasingly reflect our lives offline. The internet doesn't suddenly cleanse us and make us some messianic generation free of all the biases and entanglements of generations before us. For example, how many of you have heard someone say, "Oh, MySpace is ghetto," or "MySpace is trashy"? How many of you have heard that? But what does it mean to say that MySpace is ghetto? Compared to what? According to who? See, that statement is deeply rooted in racial struggles and class divides that didn't die just because Strom Thurmond did. Or consider the fact that Facebook was originally only available to college students. Under that format, your access and participation in one of the most powerful social networking platforms available is dependent on your educational status. That's not free. That's not open. That's not progressive. So I wonder, who am I in all of this? Who are you? Who are you when you're online? What does your blog or your profile or your Flickr photo stream say about who you are and who you want to be? How is having that information online going to improve your life? I'm not suggesting it won't. Believe me, I think with a strong sense of purpose and self-identification, it very much will improve your life. And that brings me to the next WTF. What? What are we doing when we're online? What are you doing on Facebook or on MySpace? What are you blogging about? According to some politicos or pop culture pundits, all we do is chat about our last hookup while posting photo albums composed primarily of pictures of beer bongs. The savvier folks might point to a few kids getting all emo about their feelings on a MySpace blog. But these accusations get to the heart of some very real concepts of sociality and self-expression that should be seen as indispensable to a free and open society. I mean, I'm on Facebook to connect with my friends, to share thoughts and ideas, laughs, angry rants. I have a friend who likes to call this screaming into the cyber void. But is it really a void? The feedback I get from my friends tells me otherwise. You're probably online too, among other reasons, to connect with your friends. But I wonder, does your profile reflect that? Are your privacy settings set up so that only your friends can see your profile? Because like it or not, an openly accessible blog or profile says something very different from a private one. And if you want to know a little bit more about setting your profiles up on Facebook, we have a workstation set up in the center of the plaza. Now, I know the who and the what questions are heavy questions. They're pretty loaded. But the answers are vital as we determine where all of this is headed. Where do we want the internet to go? What do we want it to look like? That's part of what One Web Day is all about, staking a claim in the web's future. Will it proceed after today as an increasingly open platform for self-expression as well as creative global collaborations? Or will massive telecom companies have their way, homogenizing the content, sinking net neutrality, and ultimately making unfettered, unfiltered internet access another privilege exclusive to advantaged, wealthy populations? We need to fight for where we want the internet to go for those days when the big decisions, the legislation, the executive decisions, the judicial rulings are made that affect the future of life online. When the Patriot Act comes up for reauthorization soon. When Facebook decides to launch its next beacon-like application broadcasting your personal information far beyond your sanctioned boundaries. When the next employer decides not to hire you based on some out-of-context Google hits. Those days are already here, and they're only going to keep on coming. And ultimately, like so many of us asked of Sarah Palin's email hacker, we're going to be asked why. Why are we online in the first place? Why is open, unfiltered access important to a free and democratic nation? Why should privacy on our terms, not Comcast, not AT&T's, not the FBI's, on our terms, be considered an essential right in a computerized society? And we better know who we are and what we're doing in order to defend our reasons why. So if you're already active online, or if you're thinking about getting more involved, be it through a social network, blog, or other platform, ask yourself the 5 WTFs. Who, what, where, when, and why. Ask yourself those questions to figure out if the life you say you lead online and what you're actually doing on the internet match up. Because, to paraphrase former U.S. Attorney General Ramsey Clark, the true measure of a citizen is the distance between what you say and what you do. Thank you.